Alright, this is John Cola with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for him here in Florida. And I'm actually in like St. Petersburg, Pinellas Park area. And the reason for this episode today is because I really want to share with you guys, because, you know, I've traveled a lot. I've been to Florida a lot. You know, I live on the West Coast. I don't come here too much, but when I do, I always try to find the best source of fruits and vegetables to buy, especially the exotic, you know, fruits that I love a lot. That is, you know, makes up the majority of my calories. I encourage all you guys to eat more fruits and vegetables and make them the mainstay of your diet to crowd out all the other foods, whether that's vegan, processed foods and junk foods, whether that's animal products or dairy. Fruits and vegetables are literally the king and queen. And on top of all that, I would definitely say vegetables are more important to eat than fruits for their nutrients, although the fruits are more important than the vegetables for their caloric density. So you have to balance out and figure out where you want to line up on that. So the reason for this episode is because this is the best place I found to get the lowest prices literally in the whole state of Florida to date on like tropical fruits. You know, I've had a great time going through the market. I got my haul sitting in my refrigerated or air-conditioned car so it doesn't go bad. And I want to show you guys some of the cool things I bought, but also more importantly, you know, where I got them, how I sourced them, and how to basically buy things if you come to the flea market. And where we are today, we're at the Mustang Flea Market. It's on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, but here's the thing. Most of these vendors don't show up on Wednesday. So if you're gonna come on Saturday and Sunday, right? Of the 2 days, the better day to come is what? Yes, Saturday. Why? Because the farmers come and they pick produce or buy produce or whatever. They come set up Saturday morning and they open at 7. So the other trick is to get here early at 7 a.m. I got in late because it was more important for me to sleep than get here right when they open. But definitely I would recommend and encourage you guys to get here early if you want to get the biggest selection, because some of the growers, some of the people selling here are backyard growers. Many of them maybe just be importing and buying and selling, so it's not like a farmer's market, it's a flea market. But that's all right, because I'm glad that they could just buy and sell and get things from, you know, who knows where, imported and then sell it actually for really cheap, literally pennies on the dollar. You basically get, you know, flea market prices on tropical fruits, right? I've seen that like nowhere else in the country. Even places like Hawaii, yeah, unless some of the farmers markets in Hawaii, but there's even, you know, for this time of year, which is September, they've got really good selection. Of course, every time of year, and the selection will vary. Come with cash and your negotiating skills, right? I spent a lot of money, a lot more than I thought I would, but I definitely got some good deals and some fruit that literally you would not be able to find anywhere else. Now I do want to say that, you know, this is my favorite place for the lowest cost, widest variety of fruits, but it would only be coming in second for the variety of fruits that they offer here. You know, there's a place called Miami Fruit. What's up, Rain? Miami Fruit is over in Miami, and they actually have a wider variety because the guy that runs it, Rain, he eats fruits and vegetables and raw foods, and eats lots of fruit. So, I mean, a plant-based diet guy. So that's what he does, and he sources higher quality fruit than I've seen here in some cases, although it will be more expensive. But that being said, he will ship it to you. So none of these sellers that I'm going to show you guys do shipping. You know, so you got to show up to get it, or call them and show up at their farm or their location to pick it up. So be forewarned. Anyways, next I'm going to go to my rental car and show you guys my fruit haul, and more importantly, how I'm keeping it cold while I'm still walking around the market without having to carry it everywhere. All right, so what you guys are seeing behind me is actually my rental car. This is a Toyota Tacoma 4x4. And they upgrade me. Normally I get a small car, but I do want to encourage you guys, you know, when you're thinking about getting a rental car, yeah, price is important, but also safety is important. And also, to me, having a keyless vehicle, right? So a keyless vehicle is quite important, and you will learn why, because I have the keys, although the car is sitting there running and idling. You're like, John, you're wasting gas, man. You're idling. You're not even in the car. You're not even driving the car. Well, I have a very important reason for the car to be idling right now, right? I got like $50 worth of fruits in there. And some of these fruits are so rare, it's only the second time I've even seen them in my entire life, right? I didn't want the car to get like 80 degrees, 90 degrees inside, maybe even 100, because it is like in the 80s and 90s here. And the sun just goes in and acts like a greenhouse. It could be like 140 degrees in your car, you know, if you open it up, you know, it gets really hot. So I'm like, all right, what's more important? Buying some gas, and yeah, it's not even gonna use a gallon, maybe a half gallon, like $2 worth of gas for the half hour I'm here or whatever to run, but to keep my produce cold. To me, that's important. To you guys might have another idea that I'm wasting gas. To me, this is the best use of gas I could freaking put my money into, because it's gonna allow me to eat this fruit for the rest of my trip, and I'm here like another 5 days in town. Plus, it'll allow me to keep the food cool so that I could even bring some of it back on the airplane with me to eat on the plane and even eat when I get home. And some of these items are really rare and I barely find. So, and when I'm not traveling, when I'm at home, I also do this. But at home, I have an electric car, and so that gets, recharged on electricity, which, one of these days will be powered by the sun. And so, I mean, I definitely would encourage you guys to look into electric cars. I have a really good video on my electric car. And, I'll put the link down below why you should buy an electric car. I mean, they are the future. So I had to do a little bit of trickery to get the keyless to run, and nobody could steal the car because there's no key in there. And if they even do get in the car and it's running, they try to get in and take off, the console will come up and say no key. So if you do have a key and you leave it in the ignition and you lock the doors and you have your spare key, I don't know that I'd recommend that, because somebody could jack your car. But this way, with a keyless, I have the car running, I have it all locked up, which was a little bit tricky to do. You gotta do with actually, you gotta lock the doors and then lock it with a key on the outside, otherwise it wants to unlock them automatically. So let's go in and show you guys my haul here today. So let's go ahead and open up my cool car, because I'm kind of sweating, sit inside there and show you guys my produce haul. All right, so as you guys can see, my produce is sitting in there. You wanna put it as low to the ground as possible, while that's where the air is gonna be coolest, and also out of direct sunlight. I would even encourage you guys to get the car shade, or even put cardboard up in your windows to not let the sun in. The sun comes in the majority of your windows and can heat up your car. And then I would also recommend window tinting. Window tinting looks, you may think, oh, that's for like gangsters or something like that. There is special window tinting that could even be clear, that blocks out the UV light so it doesn't heat up your car. Having the proper window tinting, and actually the tinting that I'm considering costs like $700, but that could reduce the inside temperature of your car by like 20 to 30 degrees on a hot day. First thing we got 2 cases of these. I found these immediately as I walked in. Basically cases of Rambutan. You guys know how much these guys cost near you, right? How much does Rambutan cost near you? Right? You might be able to find these boxes. I always buy by the box or the case. They're always less expensive. But yeah, a case of nice Rambutan. Now, there are many different sellers of Rambutan here. I saw them at the first place I went to, and I got excited and I bought 2 cases. Luckily, the 2 cases I bought were also the lowest price. Well, not quite the lowest price, but almost the lowest price. There's many different Rambutan sellers here, and I would encourage you guys to, test the fruit before you buy, to ensure you're gonna get the sweetest fruit and the best tasting fruit to you. And the seller of these that I'll show you guys in a minute, basically will go around to farms on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and packing houses, and basically get produce, and then drive here in morning on Saturday, and then set up shop and sell the stuff. And so these ones were basically, he was selling the Rambutans if you just bought them loose for $2 a pound. So the other thing I want you guys to say is, if you eat a lot of fruit like me, try not to buy things by the pound. Say, how much would a box of this be? He said $2 a pound, but I said, how much is a box? He said $7. I'm like, then I thought to myself, wait, $7, that's like buying like, 3.5 pounds. I'm gonna easily eat that on my trip. I mean, I could eat like half a box literally in one sitting. And these are like 5-pound boxes, so 5 times, 2 would be $10. And so basically I got these boxes for $7, right? So I saved even more money. These are nice looking Rambutans. All right, next box I got, you're like, John, you got more Rambutans, man. You're a shyster. But I did get the box because this is a nice box. If you do get fruit, I do encourage you guys to bring your own boxes, like boxes that are flat, so you can basically single layer your ripe fruit. Otherwise, it will get smushed. If I put these into a bag, they would have got totally smushed. And what are these guys? These guys are probably one of my favorite fruits in the entire world. I rarely get to get them. These are known as the Chico Zapotes. So actually, I'm hungry, and this one's really ripe. I'm gonna show you guys what these look like on the inside. These guys were $4 a pound. Normally, he sells them for $5, but I got them for $4. And I would encourage you guys to, before you buy a large quantity, if you don't know what the quality is gonna be like, you don't know if it's gonna be good, and you wanna make sure you get good fruit, just like, I wanna buy one, or ask if you could sample one, right? If he says, yeah, sample one, then sample one and try it. If they don't let you sample one for free, then just buy one, pick out the ripest one, And then right there in front of them, you know, buy one, pay for it, and then you could open it up and eat it, right? And look at this, I'm gonna open this up for you guys. Look at that inside. What you wanna look for on these guys is you wanna make sure there's no like green. You don't wanna see green tinge in the skin. I don't see any green tinge. In addition, when you open this up, you want it nice and soft like an avocado, and also no green tinge, and you want it, you know, soft, not firm. So we're just gonna go ahead and try this for you guys. You could probably just carefully squeeze this up like a push-up, if you're careful, like a push-up to get most of the fruit out. This is acceptable to me because I haven't had it in so long, but this could be sweeter, and I really prefer the Chicos that are more nice and deep, rich, like brown on the inside. But yeah, all these guys, like 20 bucks for the box. It was like, you know, a little bit over 5 pounds. So next thing I got a whole bag of dragon fruits. And this whole bag probably has like maybe like 12 dragon fruits. I paid $8 for them. There they are in there. I mean, these are all white. They also had like the purple ones. These are like maybe like a little bit on their way out, but that's why I got them for a bit less, and they're also soft and a pretty good color. Grown also in Florida, picked this time. They also had dragon fruits from like Ecuador, like the yellow ones for like $8 a pound. You know, the white ones standard, they're going from like $1, $1.50 a pound. And if you wanted the purple ones, you know, they're like $3.50 a pound or so, maybe $3.50. But those were really rare. Most people had the white ones. So we got to keep these cold since they're kind of like going. And then next thing I got, I don't know if you guys can see that, we got star fruit in there, pulling out. So I found a lady selling them. This is just a lady that grows them in her backyard. These guys, I think they were like 4 for $1 when I bought them at the first booth because I was excited to see them. Don't get to eat them too much. I walked a couple booths down. Then I saw them 6 for $1. So then I got to pick 6 and get them for $1. And then I saw these ones. So like these are special star fruits, different variety. They didn't know the variety there, but these are the standard ones. And these ones are a different variety that are a lighter color. They may be even sweeter. I'm not sure which ones are gonna be sweeter. But I bought some of those too. So this is like probably a good meal's worth of star fruit that I'm gonna get to eat. And then finally, this is a fruit I've only ever tasted once in my life, and this is extremely rare. You're probably never gonna find this fruit. I might have a video on this fruit alone when I bust these open. What's this fruit? Yeah, most of you guys don't know unless you watch my Growing Your Greens channel. I have a video on this. This is called the Jackfruit. Normally it's used for like basically coloring rice, and it's good for your eyes. And you know, traditionally this is not necessarily eaten raw, although you can eat it raw, but there's not a lot of fruit in here. It's quite unique and different. It's kind of like almost eating bitter melon fruit, if you ever eaten bitter melon fruit, which is the fruit pith around the seed, all right? And that's about all I have to say about that. These guys were $5 each until I was like pawing through them, and the guy's like, oh, for the smaller ones, they're $4. So then when he reduced the price by $1, then I bought 3 of these guys so I could get the special pigments in the Jackfruit, and these are highly pigmented and probably have some health benefits that I have rarely gotten to eat in my life because it's rare to even find these guys. Maybe you could find them in a supplement form, or maybe in a Chinese or something Asian medicine shop. So yeah, it's really, yeah, this is like a super ultra rare fruit, like never seen this before, except one time growing myself. In addition to other fruits they had, you know, here, I could have got sugar apples. You know, they were like ranging from $4 to $10 a pound. Could have got Long On, which is like the end of the season now. They're a little bit more spendy, like $3 a pound. So I figured, you know, hey, these, I'd rather eat Rabitan than Long On in most cases, although some of the Long On was decent. Oh, and then I also got a sugarcane juice without ice. Every place always wants to put in ice, and when they add ice, it's cool because it keeps it cold. But also, guess what? That reduces the amount of sugarcane juice you're getting, and also if they're not, you know, filtering the ice, may put potential toxins into the water. You know, with chlorine, chloramine, fluoride, all this kind of stuff. So I prefer to get no ice. And I even did negotiate a deal for you guys, for my viewers, to get, you know, the same price I did for no ice, so that you don't have to bargain with them or anything like I did. So this cup's like 32 ounce sugarcane juice for $5. I mean, that's a solid price to me. Sugarcane, I believe it's grown here in Florida, in like the Miami area. Let's see here. So I think that's pretty much my fruit haul here. What I want to do next is actually go over into the, you know, flea market and show you guys my tips on how to shop it. Also show you guys some of my favorite vendors there. Some I did buy things from and some I did not. So now I'm going to give you my tips on shopping the flea market. So the first thing I want to mention that I didn't mention earlier is that On this side of the flea market, it's the Mustang, and on the other side, it's the Wagonwheel. It's basically the same flea market. So what's the difference? There's two entrances, and if you come in on this side, you know, the vendors on this side are mostly the produce vendors and food vendors, whereas on the other side, it's standard flea market fare. So if you just walk the whole, you know, a couple like 4 rows over and get to the fifth row is kind of like flea market items, which you may find some cool stuff. Actually, I was in a flea market in Florida before, actually the other side, and I found like a juice man 2 juicer, the juicer I started with, for like $20 in the box. Like, I think it is either brand new or used like once. So I had to buy that for nostalgia. But anyways, most of the time I don't, you know, hang out at the standard flea market, although I did get this cool hat for $2, and I'll show you guys a vendor I got and why I got a hat here for $2, and a cheap hat at that. So that's my first thing. The second thing is when I parked, I came in and I parked on the first, second, third, like the 4th row. And when you enter, you're gonna wanna enter where there's a sign that says do not enter. This will take you right to probably my favorite guy here at the market that basically just, you know, picks up the stuff in Homestead where he lives and then comes over and will tell it to you guys for, you know, local, Florida grown in many cases, for a really good price. All right, so the first vendor that I bought from is right when I walked in, and that's why I said park where it says do not enter. You walk in, he'll probably be right here in a big truck. Every week's gonna be different. You know, this week we had Randy's pan, as I mentioned, $2 a pound or $7 for the case. He also has a dragon fruit, which when I walked in, he'll sell them for $1 a pound. Then you change the price to $1 each. But always, you know, they also try to sell by the box, because literally he just buys all these boxes, brings them over, and then he basically tries to unload them. And so I think right now they're negotiating a deal for like $25 a box. I think the box is around 40 pounds of the dragon fruit. So yeah, negotiate, and if you come later in the day, the prices are gonna probably be a bit less because they don't want to take it home or have it spoil. And that's just what it is. So the cool thing is, you know, actually he lives in Homestead, and he'll go to the farms in the morning for on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then come here Saturday. And so if you live in Homestead, you could actually pick up directly from him. And his number there is 786-752-2203. And so he does not ship. He will not ship, but if you're in the Miami area, call him. You can drive down to Homestead. Maybe he'll meet you along his route if you're lucky. I don't know what he's gonna do. But you know, if I'm over there on that side, I'm always gonna call him to see what kind of fruit availability he has, and I'll just be able to, you know, buy by the case probably on Friday, you know, before he takes off to come over on this side and actually just sell it at the market. All right, so the next thing I wanna share with you guys is that, you know, aside from just buying fruits and vegetables here, which is really great, I would encourage you guys to have your own garden and grow your own. I have a whole YouTube channel dedicated to that at Growing Your Greens. Link is down below the video. Actually, some of the people here know me because of my videos. They're like, you're the guy from YouTube. And so super simple, super easy to grow your own, even if you don't have like, you know, a space to plant things in the ground, or you're renting an apartment or renting a house, right? Just buy some pots, right? And there's a really cool pot guy here, not because he sells pot, because he sells the empty reused pots that literally he works for a landscape company, and the landscape company will have the jobs where they basically, you know, there was a tree in here, and then they put the tree in, and then they have the pot. So he buys it from the landscape company, then brings it here, and has a whole selection of pots that you guys could buy for like, oh my God, super affordable. If I lived here, you know, I would have bought all these pots today. Although that being said, these pots are already sold, so get here early if you guys want to get these nice pots. You know, these are like 65-gallon pots. I think they're like around $12 or so. He has like 50-gallon pots, 25-gallon, you know, 15-gallon. I would say minimum stick with a 15-gallon. I mean, this size pot, like 65, you could easily grow a fruit tree on your patio. I mean, the thing is that this guy may get heavy. Luckily, it has some handles on it, so you might need a couple 4 guys to pick it up should you move. He also could get up to 100-gallon pots, which are totally insane, which he does not usually bring here, but if you come and tell him you want one, he will bring it for you. So yeah, grow your own food, makes it easy with some really inexpensive pots you could buy. All right, so my general plan here at the flea market is not to just go to specific booths first and just buy stuff. What I like to do really first is just walk up and down every aisle systematically so I don't miss any booths, so I can kind of comprehend, see what they have, maybe taste some samples if it's all right, or buy a sample. And generally I won't buy my first time through unless it's something that I haven't seen yet and something I really want. You know, so like when I saw the Jackfruit, I didn't bother to look for any more Jackfruit because I know that's extremely rare. When I saw the Sapodilla or the Chico Zapotes, like I just bought them. I didn't have to come back because I hadn't seen those anywhere else. And there's only 4 or 5 rows here. And you know, if you guys come here a lot, you're gonna get to know some of the sellers and who to go to. I will show you guys some of the more special sellers that I like, you know, that you will want to look out for a lot. There's like booth numbers, but I don't know if I'll be able to read them because some of them are non-visible. But the vendors are always in the same space every weekend. It's getting a little bit late now, actually. It's like 11:42. And you know, some of the vendors are even packing up. So once again, you want to come here early, as close to 7 a.m. as you possibly can for the best selection. Although if you get here late, then you're probably going to get better deals. All right, so this is where I got my sapodillas at. It's actually, the number is 634 on the ground, so hopefully they're in the same space every week. They have things that from all over. So they told me that the sapodillas were grown in Fort Myers and with a friend, and they have the Thai bananas, probably imported, and different kind of dragon fruits and papayas, I think from the Caribbean, some avocados, and some long on. And so let me show you the sapodillas that I bought. So I really look for like new and different when I'm coming here, because a lot of the vendors will have the same things, maybe things they bought and then they're reselling. But some vendors will have totally different things than other people, and that's because maybe they're buying and reselling some things, but also they have friends that grow. And actually that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for backyard growers, because they're gonna grow super exotic things and things that are rare that you literally can't find anywhere else. And I found that with this particular stall here. So you know, they have these Persimmons here, which I don't even know the variety, but this is the only seller that has these oblong Persimmons. These are probably a stringent variety. We'll need to ripen up before you eat them. And you know, to me these look like early season, so like these should probably be a little bit more orange to me. And if you pick through here, you know, maybe you could find some that are a little bit more ripe. You know, I've never really had the Persimmons from this side of the country. I'm used to the California ones, or the ones that I've had over on this side. Haven't usually been too good. Plus these need to basically ripen up and get really soft before you eat them, otherwise they're stringent. So actually I didn't get any of these because I would consider these kind of early. And you know, and I'm probably gonna get plenty of Persimmons later in the season. But what I did get are these guys, and these are the sapodillas. And to me, when I look at these, I could assess the quality of fruit by looking at it, and you can see like, if there's a lot of green tinge in here, you could tell they're picked very unripe, which then you could tell, oh yeah, they're just trying to sell whatever. But I could tell that a lot of these were picked actually at a good time, so they're actually at really good ripeness. You know, they have some that are super large, which are probably a different variety than these super small ones. And for me, since I'm only in town for a few days, the most important factor when buying these guys are that they're actually ripe right now. Because sometimes you could buy these and then they might not ripen up at all, and or they might not ripen up till when you're flying back, and then you have to deal with taking mushy fruit, you know, back on an airplane, which is no fun. So my goal is to buy as much as I need to eat now, and then, you know, eat it on my trip. So I picked out like all the good ripe ones, but let me go ahead and show you guys. So let's see. So these guys are a bit more firm, so they're not quite as ripe. Also, I want you guys to look like really close to the skin color. If you see green tinge, then that's a sign to me, an indicator that it's not as ripe. So I think the softness is the most important thing. And then the smell. So some of these are so ripe, they're kind of like dripping juice. And then you can smell it. And it, like, to me, these guys smell like sweet brown sugar. And so like, I don't get ones usually that are dripping. I picked out all the good ones. And the other thing is, if they're this ripe, guys, do yourself a favor, don't put them in a bag. You put these guys in a bag, you're gonna get home with a bag of mush. I've done that many times. I've learned my lesson. So either bring your own boxes or ask the seller for a box. And how to do that is, once you get the box, then have him tear out the weight so you can weigh the box. So then he'll take off the weight of the box when you put all your fruit in the box, like single layer, like I did. So yeah, these are some fruit buying tips that I don't know who else really goes around to places to make these videos for you guys. So, you know, if you guys really appreciate this video, hey, please give this sure to give this video a thumbs up right now. And be sure to share this on your favorite fruit forums and share it around the internet so that people can be educated about buying good fruit. I really want to see, you know, vendors here at this flea market survive and thrive, and people come here and literally break down the door, and I want to see them going home with none of this tropical fruit, exotic stuff. It is so extremely rare, and I really appreciate them for going through all the work to sort fruit, sell fruit, pick fruits, and provide it to you guys. All right, check it out, guys. Check out my cool sporty hat, right? I didn't bring this hat with me. I bought it while I was here at the flea market, and I supported this hat seller here. I don't know what booth he's in, but he has a huge booth. It'd be really hard to miss him. And you know, the reason why I want to talk about this is because this hat, it was only $2. This is a nice hat, right? When I travel, I'm just gonna basically fold this up, super small. It's gonna go in my backpack so that I could actually protect myself from the sun, right? I don't like to, I'd rather use a hat or clothing than actually sunblock. You know, a lot of the sunblock is toxic. It could mess up the reefs, mess up the wildlife, all this kind of stuff. Also is expensive. Plus you're putting, in many cases, toxic chemicals on your skin. If you do want to use a sunblock because you are fair skinned, then get some kind of like one that they researched. A lot of the baby natural organic ones, you know, maybe with zinc oxide or some kind of minerals, tend to be healthier than not. But the best is actually a hat. So I had to get a hat because the sun was beating down, and the most important you know, part of my body to protect is my face. You can get wrinkles too fast, and I had a friend who's now passed on from a car accident, rest in peace, Novali. You know, she would always cover her face up because that was important to keep her beauty, her looks. Unfortunately, for some reason, she lost her life in a head-on car accident. So even if you protect your skin, something crazy might happen. But nonetheless, they have really cool hats. So because I'm traveling, I got one that's flexible. But otherwise, they have some really nice wide brim hats here that are actually like made out of straw, so they're more natural. And if you live locally, then that's the kind you would get. I cannot travel with a big straw hat, and I already have plenty at home that I got from my local flea market. And the other thing is that you want to cover up with clothes. So if you're getting too much sun, put long sleeve shirts on, put clothes on first. And the other thing is I want you guys to get sun protection from the inside. This is even more important than the clothing you wear, the hats you wear, is to get sun protection from the inside. How do you get sun protection from the inside, right? You eat colorful fruits and vegetables, right? You eat a lot of carrots. If you're really fair skinned, your skin might turn orange. The orange that's going into your skin is all the different carotenoids, and these properties in the food protect us. If you eat a lot of leafy greens, the lutein and zeaxanthin could help our skin. If you eat this algae called anthocyanin, that's probably one of the best research, documented, scientific, published studies on the protection it will give you from literally the inside out on skin protection. So we don't want to be putting on these sunscreens. First layer, always eat a high nutrient value diet with really colorful pigments. And second, of course, is cover up. All right, so when I'm here at the flea market, it's like I'm not hunting mode because I don't really hunt and kill things, but I'm hunting because I'm trying to find like the best fruits and vegetables, the best deals, and I try to have really lots of awareness. So when you're walking around, you want to like I spy from my eye, like, you know, oranges that are in a case, you know, and you could spy like, you know, oh, limes, they got mangoes, you know, and they got some pretty good deals here at this booth. It's booth 544. For example, these mangoes that maybe aren't the prettiest, maybe spotted, they're 2 for $1. You get a whole case for $3 for mangoes. And of course, you know, if you're picking out mangoes, you want to go through and pick one. And here's the thing, man, especially if mangoes are looking like this, I would buy one for like, or 2 for $1, or 1 for 50 cents. Cut it open and look, or ask the seller, hey, can you cut one open and look? Sometimes when they're spotted like this, they're just like black on the inside, then you're wasting your money. So buy one before you buy, invest in a large quantity. When you buy one, also look inside, but also taste test it. These ones could be a little bit riper. You know, they have decent color to them, they may ripen up. But the reason why I want to stop here is because when you guys are scanning, I want you guys to look for produce stickers, right? If you're looking for produce stickers, you always want to look for the number 9. That means it's organic if it starts with the number 9 and it's 5 digits on a produce sticker. For example, this sticker says 4584. If it said 4584, then it'd be organic mangoes, but it doesn't, so it's just conventional. But when I'm walking, you also want to look for this, the USDA sticker or emblem. And so check it out, man. These limes, I mean, they're just selling them for $1, right? Organic limes. And where were these? This is like probably from some store. I don't know what store they would sell them at normally, but they're like overstocked, so they got them selling all these limes. Limes sometimes could sell for $3, $4 a pound for organic, and this is a pound of limes for $1. In addition, at this market, besides organic limes, I saw organic peaches, also organic peppers. So you always want to be looking at the produce stickers. I'm always looking on the deal for peppers. You know, limes are great to add to juices. Get that citric acid in there to help preserve your juices, your smoothies even longer. Give you some kind of acid zing in your salad dressings. Something that I like to always have on hand in my fridge, to use when I create dressings. When I travel, I'm usually not buying the lime. All right, so of course, while I'm here, I got that fresh sugarcane juice, and if you guys find a place with fresh sugarcane juice, you guys should stop and support them. They go through hard work to basically, source the cane, have the juicer, have a generator that's running the whole market. Actually, one of the sugarcane juice sellers, his generator broke, so he was not able to make the sugarcane. I think there's like 3 or 4 sellers, and I'm gonna show you guys this one. Why? Because they're willing to work with me and work a deal, and also I pre-negotiated a deal for you guys. If you guys come to this vendor at 652. You mentioned OK Raw. They'll give you guys the sugarcane juice without the ice for $5, you know, at present time. So that's like normally the price with ice is $5 and without ice is $6. But I said, hey, if you guys hook up my guys, I'll make a video about you. So I am. I will say that I didn't taste the other sugarcane juices here. Their juice could have been sweeter, but you know what? I'm not after the sugarcane juice for the sugar, for the, you know, that kind of stuff, and that's great if you are. I really like the sugarcane juice because it was not so sweet, but when you're juicing the sugarcane, you're getting all the different beneficial minerals, antioxidants, polyphenols, all the different nutrients in the sugarcane. Sugarcane juice is much different than putting powdered sugar in water and stirring it up. You know, sugarcane is such a nutritious drink, and I want to encourage more of you guys to drink it and support the sellers here that actually have it. If you do find a vendor that is selling the purple sugarcane juice, I would encourage you guys to get that one, because purple sugarcane is purple on the outside, but when you press it out, you get some of those purple pigments, which are probably anthocyanin pigments, which are even more health beneficial. All right, so one of the fruits here that they have that I actually didn't buy today is the jackfruit. So you always want to try to ask the origin, hey, where is this fruit from? The jackfruit is being imported from Mexico, and nothing wrong with imported fruit. I buy a lot of imported fruit. Some of the fruit that I bought today was actually imported, but I prefer to support local farmers, local agriculture whenever I can. And in addition, the jackfruit didn't look like super ripe to me. You know, if you've never had it before, it looked ripe enough to eat. Actually, it looked quite ripe comparatively to most jackfruit I see, but not ripe enough for me. It's about $1.25 a pound here. They also have the Thai bananas at the same jackfruit booth. And make sure, and it's always better to buy cut jackfruit than a whole one, because you know, you could be sure that it's gonna be more ripe. I have a video on picking fresh jackfruit. I'll put a link down below. All right, so another good reason to come to flea markets are for different kind of things you could buy. So like I got a hat here and next to the hat seller, and I could not film over there, so I'm kind of filming far away. They basically have a bowl seller. So they have these like plastic bowls that are super huge, out of plastic for like $1.50. You know, some have holes in it, so you could use it as a sieve or a strainer to like wash your produce in. Some are just big bowls, and I encourage everybody that eats a fruit and vegetable based diet to have big bowls. You can have big, huge salads, put your fruit in, you could carry your fruit. I mean, they're super useful, and actually they had some nice stainless steel bowls that instead of being like, you know, more wide, they're actually more deep, which was totally amazing for like an amazing price, and they're nice heavyweight. I think they're like 11 bucks. So yeah, buy some big bowls. Do yourself a favor, so when I come, you're gonna have big bowls, so I'll be happy instead of like complaining like, oh man, you don't have a big bowl, you suck. So I'm not sharing with you guys like too many booths. I'm kind of sharing with you guys the cream of the crop, the booth that really stood out to me for specific reasons. That one over there. And this one is actually booth 737. This one stood out to me. Why? Because they have fruits, once again, that no other seller had at this time, right? So it's like, it totally depends on when you come, but this seller has a bigger variety of things that other places don't sell. So I'm gonna show you guys actually why I like booth 737, one of the best. All right, so the reason why I'm at this booth is because even before I got here, I started smelling what was up, because you could smell these guys, well, not quite from a mile away, but you could smell them almost as you're walking by. Right? You could get kicked out of like, I've gotten kicked out almost of like a convention center because I was eating this fruit, and they're like, where's the gas leak? And actually the fire department came up to me because, you know, when this is ripe, people say it smells like rotten gas maybe. I think it smells like floral and delicious, so I guess it depends on what you think. But this is one of the, literally, the queen of the fruits. Like, this is called the durian, right? And this is not frozen durian. I mean, if you go to the Asian market, most Asian markets will have the frozen durian. And the difference is that stuff has been picked, hopefully ripe, frozen and shipped over, and then you have to thaw it out. Even if it might be sitting out, it could be, you know, thawed out and frozen. And those will run maybe like $2.99, $3, $4, $5 a pound. But if you find fresh durian, right, number one, it's not gonna be brown. It's gonna have this nice golden color. Look at that. And it might even have some green tinges. Like, this actually looks like a really ripe, like ready to go durian, like they're doing a good job picking them out, right? In addition, when you ask the price, and make sure you're sitting down, although there's no chairs here, right? These things are gonna be like at least $10 a pound. Near me in Vegas, where if I could buy it, it's $12.99 to $15 a pound. So $10 a pound, I mean, that's almost like, that's like 10 years ago price for me, right? So they got some extremely good prices here. I'm not gonna, you know, buy durian today because this guy is probably like at least $50 or $60 in durian. I mean, it's not like 5 times better in my opinion than some other fruits, but of course, if you've never tried it before, you never had a good durian, let them pick it out for you. You know, one of the things is, does it smell good to you? And then also I like to look for cracking. I like to look for more golden color than green. And then of course you can tell how many sections are in here. There's like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 sections in here, and in the back there's like missing a section. But yeah, a durian fruit, totally amazing. That's one of the rare things that only this seller had. So support them so they don't have to take this durian home every week. Come here and buy some of this rare fruit that literally you're probably not gonna get unless you go to like Hawaii or even Thailand, right? Super rare. In addition, of course, they got the guanabana. You know, here, you know, not many sellers had this. They have rambutan imported for $10 a box, which is an amazing price. Also here, of course, they got the sugar apples, right? I love sugar apples more than cherimoya. For you, those of you guys that haven't had sugar apples, right? You guys should try these. They got to totally ripen up, so like these little scales will really fall off or almost fall off when they're totally ready. So don't try to eat these guys hard. In addition, of course, they got the dragon fruits there. And they got, you know, just like the more standard flat style persimmons, as well as jujube fruits, which is another, you know, fruit that's lesser known. They have fresh jujube fruit that you guys should learn about and eat. So they had a nice, they had the most exotic and the widest selection of different fruits, and the prices, you know, especially like on the rambutan box, were definitely in line and even better in some cases than some of the other sellers here. All right, I'm super relieved to find a booth here, and there's actually several sellers of coconuts, right? This guy sells coconuts as well as some other fruits. He has some of the best long-ons that I tried here. They're already packing up and going home for the day. But I really want to share with you guys this this vendor. I think it's vendor number 728 is this stall number here. And the reason why is because he has the coconuts, right? And at this time, the coconuts are $2.50, although the price can fluctuate during the seasons. But you know, I definitely checked every coconut seller, and he beat the other coconut sellers by 50 cents. So that's why I'm here. In addition, his coconuts definitely look good to me. When you're asking him to pick one out for you guys, you should let him know if you want one for the water or for the meat, so he can pick one out with thick meat or thin meat. And you know, some of these guys are sweeter than others. The more mature they get, they're not quite as sweet. You know, I like inside when they're kind of like a little bit jelly meat and just good. I think I'm probably gonna get one. And don't worry, right? You guys can take these home if you want, and I can open this at home. But you know, they have a chopping block and a machete, so they'll basically open up for you while you wait. You could drink out the coconut water and even come back, and they'll split it in half like this. And you can eat out that delicious jelly coconut meat that you rarely get to get. You know, these are Miami-grown coconuts here in Florida, and you know, so that's amazing that he has the coconuts available. So I mean, man, what more could you want? You got coconut water, fresh coconut. You also got the sugar cane. You got all these cool tropical fruits. You know, here in Southwest Florida, right? I don't even find a market like this as good as this in Miami or the whole area. So that's like totally insane. I should have been coming here more often. I want to share with you guys another vendor I like a lot that actually I supported and bought some of their star fruits earlier because they had the best deal on the star fruits I found. Plus, unlike some vendors that they basically put the star fruit in a little, like, you know, little bowl that you got to buy the whole bowl, so you really can't select them. You could hand select the ripest ones that you feel, whether they're a little bit more hard and firm or whether they're more like yellowish without that green tinge that I like so much. That was really cool. And they also have some unripe papayas for $1 each, so you could like make into a papaya salad. But aside from that, I really want to show you guys what else they're selling at this booth that is even more important than the fruit that they're selling. And I know you're thinking, what could be more important than fruit, John? So here's the thing, what's more important than fruit? It's the fruit tree, because the fruit tree made the fruit, right, that you guys love so much. So I'd encourage you guys, if you live in this area, right, to grow your own fruit trees, right? The fruit they're selling here are from trees that they grew themselves. They also have a nursery where they sell different fruits, right? So look, you could buy a jackfruit tree for 10 bucks, a long-on fruit tree for 10 bucks. They got sugar apple trees for $20 and $15 depending on the size. They had some of the best prices on the fruit trees here at the market. All right, so here's a tree that's even more valuable than a fruit tree. You're like, John, how could a tree be more valuable than fruit? I love fruit. Fruit is so delicious. Well, that's because this is literally a vegetable tree. Well, it makes vegetables, but it also makes fruits as well. This is called the merengue or miracle tree, or also known as moringa tree. This is only 5 bucks, guys. I mean, if I lived here, this would be coming home with me today. Look at that, man. This is like a nice, like 7-gallon pot. Nice, like 3 moringas coming up out of this pot, right? Nice and established, ready to go in your garden and literally grow a lifetime. Once you plant this plant, you keep it healthy. It does not freeze in the winter. It comes back every year, and you can basically just pick all these leaves and eat them as leafy greens. You can juice them. I have a video where I juice the moringa with celery and pineapple. It's one of the best juices I've ever made. I mean, this is like the tree of life, the miracle tree. It's like so delicious. You can even eat the pods. The seeds are edible, although I don't necessarily recommend that. Really, the benefit of this tree is the greens and 365-day year greens in a climate that does not freeze and stays warm. This plant will defoliate if it gets maybe below 50 degrees, but even in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I live, I'm able to keep this guy alive. I cut it back to the ground, mulch it high, and basically it comes back in my zone 9A. And you know, so I really want you guys to grow your own food. Even if you're gonna think between a fruit tree and this, what's more valuable? The moringa tree is more valuable than a fruit tree. Why? Well, yeah, you got the vegetables, but here's the thing. The fruit tree, unless it's like a star fruit that produces a couple times a year, you know, most fruits only produce once a year, so you got to grow this big tree, and once a year you'll get some fruits in a certain period of time, right? The moringa tree, if you guys grow that, this grows leaves year-round unless it's too cold, and you can eat the leaves as vegetables, right? These have anti-cancer properties, isothiocyanates, just like the, you know, the cruciferous family of plants. And so you can eat more moringa. How many of you guys even eat moringa on a regular basis? I have moringa right now. I'm actually freeze drying it and powdering it so I can have it in the winter. In the summertime, I get to eat it fresh. But most of the time, unless you're buying it in a bag, in a pouch, and you don't know how it was processed, you're not going to get to eat this special plant that you can get for $5. You could also get a nice large pot for $5. Also here, grow this in a pot in your patio, get some good potting soil, and enrich the soil really well with like microbes and you know, different rock dust and worm compost castings, and you could grow some really nutritious food, even more nutritious than you could buy at the grocery store or even here at the flea market. All right, so probably my favorite tree booth, and this is not necessarily a gardening episode, although I could make a whole gardening episode here at this event, because at this flea market, because there are so many cool plant sellers selling cool, exotic, rare, and unique things. You know, I only highlighted that last one because they had good prices, but I'm going to highlight this one here. Exhibitor or booth number 903, because they have some of the best plants, and actually she follows my videos, so I know she knows what's up. And she also has some really good prices on some vegetable plants that I want to show you guys that most people don't know about, that could be easily grown here in the Tampa, you know, St. Pete, like this whole area, even, you know, South Florida, the other side, the other coast. So once again, to me, vegetable plants or plants that produce edible leaves, especially when they produce year-round, are much more valuable than a fruit tree, you know, that may produce only in the right season for a month or something like that. And probably my favorite leafy green, probably in the entire world, and definitely being sold here today, is this guy. They call this katuk vegetable plant, and this, in this climate, as long as it doesn't freeze, will grow year-round. It started by cuttings, and they start these themselves. They don't just like buy and resell. They start many of the plants they sell here. And this is one of them. This is known as the katuk. So what you do is you just basically pick off the leaves and put these leaves in a salad, right? When you put these leaves in a salad, it's gonna make your salad even better. Why? Because when you taste these leaves, I love the flavor. It's like a green leaf, but it tastes kind of like nutty and rich, right? You do not want to juice these or consume these in large, high quantities, but you know, just some leaves here and there, no problem. They taste amazing. They have a nice nutty flavor. My friend Paul Nissan, that you may know, he says he tastes like peanut butter. I don't know if I'd go that far, but they have a nice nutty flavor. And this is something you will never find like in the grocery store, because once you harvest the leaves, the branches, and you can even clip off and eat the tips, actually. The young tips can be used like asparagus. All could be totally eaten raw without any kind of heat preparation. $8 for this plant. So this is one of the best $8 you'll ever spend, because how much do you spend on like lettuce, right? You gotta buy lettuce, you eat it, it's gone. Especially organic lettuce here is super expensive. When you buy this plant, it grows out in your front yard. You can just go out and harvest as much as you want, whenever you want, every couple days. And basically for $8, you can be eating forever, provided you keep this guy healthy. All right, so I could totally get lost in the fruit trees here. They have different like Thai mangoes, like Nam Dak Mai. That's the kind you should get if you guys come. They have those trees. They have avocado. They have miracle berry fruits. They have all different kinds of fruit trees here. And that's great, but I want to really focus you guys on the vegetables, right? While I do eat raw myself, and I don't like to cook any food before I eat it, although I do have some exceptions that I do eat that are heat processed. Check the link down below for the 10 foods I eat that are not raw. I do want to mention this tree because it's an easy tree, and most people are not, you know, totally raw. They may be cooking stuff. And if you guys are going to cook stuff, the best stuff to cook are leafy green vegetables. You want to displace more of the processed food, the junk food, with leafy green vegetables that are cooked, although I like to eat them raw. But unfortunately, this tree, the Chaya tree, don't eat these leaves raw because they can be toxic, right? So you got to cook them to denature the toxins so that you don't get them. But nonetheless, this is another easy tree to grow. You could have a nice tree that's beautiful outside. You could harvest all these leaves, cook them up and eat them, and eat more greens. You know, I think as much as it is important as to be raw, it's even more important on some level to eat greens. I prefer not, I grow the chaya, but I'm not currently eating it. If there's like some kind of feast or famine or world war and the food supply gets cut off, at least I have my chaya tree to eat if I cook them up. But at present time, I haven't done that. Maybe I'll learn about different processing techniques to use the chaya. But also, this is a very valuable tree. And look at this whole tree here. And this guy's at least like 3 feet tall. Look at that, in the pot, 3 feet tall. $5. This is probably some, I mean, geez, you can't even go to the freaking nursery where I live in a 4-inch pot. You get a stupid plant star for $5. That only lasts a season. This will literally last you guys a lifetime in a climate that does not freeze and provide you guys lots of food. Now, in addition, if you guys do want to buy a fruit tree, because I like this because it produces leaves year-round, provided it doesn't get too cold, you guys can get a tree like this. They got long red papaya trees here, going to produce some papaya fruit. Only $5. It's never been cheaper. I mean, you could buy papaya here. It's $5 to buy the whole papaya. Then guess what? You eat the papaya once, and yeah, maybe you could plant the seeds and grow them, and wait a couple years, you'll have fruit. But if you buy the tree, keep it healthy, it can produce a tree, and then you could have papayas like for life. You know, you got to plant enough of them so that, you know, because they don't ripen up all at the same time, right? So it's always better to plant vegetables and fruit trees so you guys can have them yourself instead of continue to be a consumer and continue to buy them. In addition, when you grow them yourself, you get to choose the mineral fertilizer, the worm castings, the different microbes, the compost teas you guys could put on your plants to ensure that you're having high quality fruits and vegetables that taste the best, that are fresh pick at their peak of ripeness. And then also you can ensure what's sprayed on it. So you don't have to, you know, be concerned about, oh, did they spray pesticides or Roundup that could lock up minerals in the soil, be bad for the plants, and also bad for humans, in my opinion. All right, once again, I think this is the last vendor I want to show you guys. They're at booth number 715. And once again, the vendors that I'm showing you guys in this episode are because they're special vendors. They have things other vendors don't have. Many of the vendors had a lot of the same stuff, you know, which is great. Hey, you know, they even had some like fresh ginger root, fresh dug, like galangal root, which I would encourage you guys to buy here and juice and get into you. It's so anti-inflammatory, but it didn't cover, you know, a seller on that. But what I do want to cover is this seller here, because they have a fruit that I've rarely ever seen in my life. I've only seen one other time in my life, and that's when it was growing on the plant at my friend Chris's house in Hawaii. All right, so what this is that Jackfruit that I showed you guys earlier, right? And this is where I got it, and so they had lots of vegetables. They also had, like, you know, other fruits, long-ons and things here. But really, I really just came here for the Jackfruits. These are super unique, super rare. And the other thing is, you know, I want you guys to appreciate these fruits. If you find some rare fruits, right, save the seeds. Try to plant the seeds in yourself so that you guys could grow this plant yourself. We need to save these genetics of these rare plants that are really uncommon. It's really hard to even find Jackfruit seeds to propagate and grow. So when you get this, eat the fruit pulp, and I'll likely have a video about this or Instagram post. Follow me on Instagram at Growing Your Greens. I'll put a link down below in the description. Save the seeds, at least send them or give them to somebody else if they want them, or try to grow them yourself. I mean, because these are super rare genetics that you don't often see out of their home country in Asia. All right, so that pretty much brings me to the end of this episode today at the Mustang Flea Market. I really love my time here. I mean, so much that I want to make a video for you guys to share with you. Hopefully this has been valuable to you. You know, as much as I'm only buying the fruits, you know, because I'm staying at hotels and going between places. I don't have like constant refrigeration unless it's in my truck that I keep the AC on, which I don't always do. I would encourage you guys to source your vegetables too, right? They have many vegetables here. If you live in the area, source your vegetables here. Many of the people selling the vegetables grow them, so ask them if they grew them, ask them if they sprayed, you know, if they sprayed pesticides on them, so that you know, ask them how they grew them, what kind of fertilizer they use. I have videos explaining what questions you should ask people selling food so that you can make sure you get the highest quality food. I mean, they have all different kinds of Asian greens that you don't see. One of my favorites that I saw today here is water spinach. I even saw a seller selling the water spinach plant. So yeah, in summary, I've really had a fun time here just looking around. I mean, this is probably this is the best flea market that I've ever been to in my life. And definitely in terms of like exotic fruit and fruit trees at affordable prices, probably the best place in the US that I found in one spot. Totally amazing. It's not a farmer's market, so be aware of that. Some people may have grown it, you know, but most of the places are just resellers. But nonetheless, amazing prices, amazing deals. It'll allow you to grow your own fruits and vegetables, and if you're too lazy to do that, buy them here too. Support some of these guys so they continue to come back, you know, week after week. They work hard for a living, and I mean, I would not be doing their job. And so support them so that they can be rewarded by sharing these, you know, super healthy fruits and vegetables, and even more exotic ones that you might not normally find at your local supermarket. You know, some of the health food stores here I've been to, the prices are super high, super expensive, not super appealing to me. I haven't bought any fruit except some sumo tangerines, and that's pretty much what I've been eating until I came here, and then I basically loaded up for fruit for the rest of my trip. And I'm actually quite happy and glad that I did. And also thank you to the people that gave me the recommendations to come to this market. One of the best stops I've ever had on any vacation, for sure, because this is really my element that I love. So yeah, if you live in the area, you are blessed. Come out. If you're visiting the area, you definitely want to come Saturday morning early, 7 a.m. Bring lots of cash, small bills, so that they can make easy change for you guys. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, hey, please be sure to share it with somebody else that lives in the, you know, Tampa, St. Pete area, so that they can be aware of this market, as well as some of the tropical exotic fruits that I've covered, as well as the better sellers that provide better pricing and exotic fruits that you might not find at other ones. Also, be sure to like this video. Let me know that you guys liked it, so when I come to markets like this in the future, I will make videos, because most of my day is just walking the whole market, buying fruit first, and I think, all right, should I make a video? Is this valuable to people? Will people appreciate this? Let me know you guys appreciate it by making a thumbs up, right? That'll encourage me, because I mean, I've taken several hours out of my day. My camera's been running over an hour now to film this video continuous, so I've been here probably at least an hour and a half filming, and I got another farmer's market to go to today in downtown St. Pete. That's you know, more of a real farmer's market that I'm probably not gonna like as much and have as much fun as I did here. Plus, I got another gardening video to make. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below if you like this video. Subscribe so I get new and upcoming videos every 5 to 7 days. You don't know where I'll show up, what new, you know, place I'll be sharing with you guys. You guys get some good deals, some good fruit, how to pick good fruit, why you should eat fruit, all the kind of stuff, testimonials on how people can heal themselves by eating fruits and vegetables, tons of information. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. Finally, be sure to check my past episodes. The past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 500 episodes on this channel teaching you guys all about eating fruits and vegetables, which are the best foods on the entire planet. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.